blessings to you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Eye of Kie with your host, Treasue Rodriguez, aka Diamond Butterfly. Make sure you tell a friend and bring a friend. And come on back every Monday at 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for some hot, candid, informational, and entertaining, sometimes funny, witty conversation about everything under the sun, from music to food to love and laughter, business, and maybe we'll just ramble and chit chat sometimes. I'm glad to have you. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's go.
Stream from my eyes, slowly forming rivers down my cheeks they slide, escaping to disappear into the softness of my comforter. My chest rises and falls heavily as I choke on my emotions. I'm engulfed, overcome with all this smoke, these feelings I can't express, can't digest, though I do protest. Still they come, still they linger, remaining grain, a stain on my soul. There seems to be no cleaner. Shout out for assistance, my pleas are ignored, met with only resistance. My heart just wants to be restored. Less happiness, more than a day or two of joy. Is that too much to wish for, to yearn for my heart not to be so annoyed? When will this nightmare I'm stuck in, when will it end? Can it be destroyed, or is this just a ploy? Is it me? Is it something I'm doing? Something I'm not saying? A message in a bottle that hasn't arrived to my shore? Have the seas shifted my chapters into somebody else's story? Is there someone else enjoying my dreams? Tell me this isn't real. Send my answer back to me. Love, send me my happiness and set me free, love. Set me free. So these tears, they can't stop flowing. So this bitterness, it can't stop growing. Love, come to me. Love, come find me. I'm calling out to you. I'm waiting for you. So these tears, they can't stop flowing. I want this bitterness to stop me, to stop growing. Love, come to me. Love, please find me. I'm calling out to you, love. I'm waiting for you. Only you can replace these tears, love. It's up to you. Make me new, help me erase all of these fears. Only you can replace these tears, love. It's up to you. Make me new so I can shed happy tears. Bliss, happiness, I deserve a day or two of joy. It's not too much to wish for or yearn for. My heart's tired of being annoyed. I'm ready for this nightmare that I'm in to finally end. So these tears, they can't stop flowing. Make this bitterness stop. I need it to stop growing. Love, come to me. Love, please find me. I'm calling out to you. Love.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Eye of Kie with your girl, Treasue Rodriguez, aka Diamond Butterfly. That was just a little something, just there was something on there from your girl. And I'm glad to be here. I cannot believe that this is episode 5. Like, when it popped up and it said episode 5, I was like, episode 5? It's been 5 episodes already? But yes, it has. It has been 5 blessed weeks since we have been here on the TrailBlazerz network. And it's been wonderful. I'm having a ball. I hope that you are having a ball. I hope that you are enjoying your time with me. And today we got the grandbaby with us again, of course. So we hoping she's going to be a good girl while we chit chat with my girl, Shalonda Williams. And we're going to bring her on stage. We're going to talk about her new book, What If God Is All of Us, because I mean, she is amazing. And I am just so blessed to know her. We have not met face to face yet, but I don't even care because I've just been so blessed to have her in my life, to know her, to whatever. Like, she's a blessing. So, y'all get your tea, get your coffee, get your crumb cake, whatever it is that you need, get it and come on in so that we can, chat. Sis, unmute your mic. We can't hear you.
I was look. I was holding it down, waiting for you to say something so I can.
I was like, unmute. It's like, you can't unmute her mic. She has to do it. I was like, oh, okay. We'll let her do it. Hello. It's been so long since we talked. Like, it's been so long.
It has. Like, I was sitting here thinking about our time and how long I've been coaching with you, the books, everything. I think I tell people a lot about the story when we first interviewed, like forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the questions that you were asking me, and then you're like, why don't I know all that? Why is it not out there? And I'm like, I'm just working it out. But
right.
I'm glad to be here with you. It's been a minute, and probably necessary that I'm here at this time,
Yes. Like, I tell people, like, there's a few people in my lives that I say, listen, I would not be where I am. I would not still be married. Like, I was very self-sabotagey. And if it had not been for this queen right here, Tony and I would not still be together. We just wouldn't. Shalonda and David Stevens, Pastor David Stevens, those two people, we would not be where we are now. Are we perfect? No. But foundations were built. This woman, this young lady, this queen, listen, I'm telling y'all, get your tea and pull up, because you want to be blessed. You want to be in her presence. You want to get the wisdom that she is about to give you. You want to connect with her. There are some people that I tell y'all about, and when I say it, I mean it from the heart. Tap in, okay? Tap in with this lady, and you will definitely be blessed. You would most definitely be blessed. So we have a new book out. I say we, but you have a new book out. You have a new book out. What is it? What's it about?
Well, it will be released on December 18th. So we're still in pre-order mode right now. And I am extremely excited about this one because, so again, you've known me a long time. So though I have been in full-time ministry since you've known me, I've still always just been the community girl, the universal girl, the girl that loves everybody, embraces everybody, and believes that Jesus did the same, right?
Right.
So, that's been my heart. And I think this particular book is going to speak the fullness of that at all costs, and we all know there's costs associated with, that type of thing. But we're here for it. Yes. We're here for it. And it's entitled, What If God Is All of Us? And that title within itself, especially coming from a, particular religious community, can be kind of controversial. But again, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Yes. So where did this come from? What made you decide to write this, like you said, within certain communities, certain denominations, that could be a touchy topic to say that?
It can, because I think we kind of like it when we're the it group, right? I mean, but we tend to take on that attitude in our personal lives, and then we bleed it over into every other thing, right? In our personal lives, we need to be the it person. We need to be the one that everybody's looking at. We need to be the person that, and I think it bleeds over into our organizations, and that includes the organization of the church. Or, I'm from a Christian background, so you'll hear me talk from that perspective the most. And the reason why I believe that the I am, the great I am, is like, hey, I need all my folks back. I need everybody. I need all of my children back together. And the only
Right.
way to do that is to remind them that I'm not just in one place with one people. I'm everywhere at all times at the same time. So they're not excluded. Because we do know just how people can feel very, very excluded when it comes to the get it together communities, right? Or let's not be this, let's not be that. So it's a very, 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 like I said, controversial subject, because when you are taught, and I will say this, I don't believe that everybody has ill intentions. I just believe that we can only speak what we know, talk
Right.
what we know, do what we've been doing, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
God is just like, here's the time, because there is a passage where Christ Joshua, which is Jesus's name, where he was talking to a woman at the well, and he was like, there'll be a day where you're not worshiping in the mountains or in Jerusalem, because that was their place of gathering, but you'll do so in spirit and in truth. And so let's think, like spirit is everything, everywhere. There's no place that God is not, right?
Right.
So if we're doing this in spirit and in truth, then that must mean that there are some things that haven't been truth. And so we got to unpack it, right? Unpack it and heal the land. God uses us, and love heals all things. So we're gonna get into that. Get like really, really, really like. I mean, there's no. I'm looking forward to this, because there's no telling how many different people I'm going to embrace in this time and meet with, and actually, like, literally embrace them, though we may not be the same.
Right. My yesterday at church, the pastor's wife preached, and she preached on we've been talking on some close to what you're talking about, how Jesus was for everybody, how Jesus physically touched people that the people said were untouchable, like the leper. Nobody's touching lepers.
Yeah.
Jesus did. The woman with the issue of blood. These are people who were cast out that Jesus approached. The woman that had the multiple husbands, and the adulterer. These are people that at that time, at least, these are people that you weren't supposed to talk to, touch anything, but Jesus went to them. Jesus didn't just speak to his niche group. He sent his people everywhere to talk to everyone, and they did it in love. It wasn't just you're going to hell, you're going to do this. It was like water. What do they say? You can't attract flies with vinegar.
Yeah.
Men.
And he said that with Jesus said, with loving kindness have I drawn thee, right? With loving kindness have I drawn thee. And it's almost as if we take, I kind of joke about it, but it's not really a joke, but we really only talk about love and stuff like that on special occasions in church, every other Sunday, which, there are other things for us to learn, but the foundation of love should always be the first thing. I think I posted that as a message, that love is the answer. And immediately I began to think about the song that said, Jesus is the answer for the world today. And then I heard somebody in the spirit realm, like, reading the post, like, love is the answer. No, Jesus is the answer. Well, the answer is what Jesus spoke. It was what he spoke. God is love. And therefore he's above any human that's ever walked the earth, because he is all humans. And we know that Christ was a human, but we understand that he came to give us the message that God wanted us to have. And so when we do more worshiping of the name as opposed to the principle that he gave, then we lose people everywhere, because you have a set group of people that are claiming Jesus as their own, claiming this. And if you're not doing it this way, then you're wrong. If you're not saying it this way, then you're wrong. But there were verses where he literally said, there's neither Jew nor Greek. There's neither slave nor free. There's neither male and female. We are all one in the great I am. And so when you think about it, especially if you grew up in any religious organization that speaks about God the Father, that there's always a clause on the unconditional love factor.
Right.
But there is no clause. Unconditional literally means no conditions. There are none. There's nothing that can make God not love me or embrace me, because he made all things knowing their function. I'll even go further to say that he is all things, right? And that includes us. Omnipresent.
Right.
How you gonna be omnipresent and not be with me, in me?
Right.
And it goes so much further, because now there are lines being erased, and so that the scientific community and the spiritual community and the metaphysical community and all these different communities are all saying the exact same thing, just in different words.
Right.
When in quantum physics, I think when you talk about what we're created of, it goes all the way back to the fact that we're all made out of the same matter, the same energy, the same whatever, different words.
Right.
It's the same as saying God is all things, omnipresent at all times. And so that doesn't exclude me, and it doesn't exclude you, but it includes everything and everybody. So this is the time for us to really embrace that. And it's been difficult for me, Kai, to say the least, to just simply go for it, because you've heard me talk before, but to say it out loud to the whole entire world and not be afraid anymore of what man can say, it was a process of grief, a process of, I know what they're gonna say, all these different things. But I care so much that the one that's lost is no longer lost in their hearts and mind, and that they can make it through another situation if they just know who they are.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a super, super powerful statement. It's where my heart is, which is why I like, me and my brother were talking the other day. I'm like, I'm more spiritual than religious, because religion is so set in. And like you said, it has to be this way. It has to be this way. It has to be this way. And I'm like, Jesus said, the greatest of all things is love.
Yeah.
That was his last commandment, is to love. And it's like, if we just, Tony said this all the time, like, if we just treat each other with love and kindness, the world would be such a better place, instead of always trying to point the finger like I'm better than you and you have to get right before I can love you. Like, show me in the Bible where it says the only people that are God's children are the ones who follow God. Show me where it says that.
Good.
We are all God's children. It never says only the ones that follow me are God's children. That's not what it says. Like, the sun shines on every single person. It rains on every single person. Like, God blesses everybody, not just, he made the earth for everybody. Like, it's not only for my children, because that would mean that we get special privileges, and the Bible doesn't say that. Jesus went through hell, which shows you that even if you follow Jesus, you still going to go through hell. You still going to go through things. It doesn't mean that or otherwise everybody would want to be a Christian because it means that your life is going to be happy and you're not going to have to worry. Like, no, like,
there's so much to that, Kai, and to say the least, we have a built-in selfishness along with, love is ingrained in all of us, again, because God is love and he's in all things, and it's ingrained in us. But here's the reality, if I believe that God is but one, it's everywhere all at one time. If I believe that, then that cannot, again, exclude a person, nor can it make another person feel like, well, obviously I was created from something different. Y'all all created from the source of God, but because I'm so, awful as they would think, it are not. But God is no respecter of persons, which doesn't mean he doesn't respect us, because obviously we were fearfully, wonderfully made, or reverentially made, respectfully made. But, we are, we've got to get out of the place where we feel like we have to claim everything as our own, and we have to make it all of our own. And I think that comes also from the place or the perspective of being held down in certain bondages to other people. Then we kind of just bring out and we make our own thing. Now we are the chosen or the special. I don't negate what scriptures have to say. I will just simply say this. It's very sacred. I believe that the words in it originally were every bit of inspiring as things we write today, because these were people's testimonies about God, the testimonies about what God did for them and how he brought them out. But if you want to think about this in real life, you ever witness a football game, and you got both teams, and if you go in either locker room, they're both praying.
Right. right.
They're both praying and let us win. Right. So
Right.
then when that happens, and if you're looking at it through those eyes, or if you go to wrestling, if you go to basketball, if you go to all the different churches and communities and faith buildings in the world, everybody's praying
Right.
for the same God, because there's only one. Right? When you start distinguishing the different lowercase g gods, whoever believes in, whatever they believe in, there's still only one supreme being, right? That burst or separated itself into all things that exist. So if I'm praying and you're praying, God has to be no respecter of persons. Justice has to be in work itself. So in this particular thought process, skill gonna have to do its thing. You know what I mean? Like we're both praying for the victory,
right?
But it's what you have inside of you, and what you know, and what you're skilled to do, and all those things work together. Some people will say, "Well, no, I know there's plenty of times where God showed up and I was favored, and favor exists. It does. It absolutely exists." But is that favor more than likely is based on what you have sown and what you have sown into the earth.
That's what people don't. They forget that part. Still got to do your part.
Yeah.
You still got to. You can't just sit back. People want to just sit back and pray and God's going to work a miracle. They don't want to do like faith without works. They forget the works. And
then they, honestly, people started forgetting the works because they misunderstand that what grace is. So grace is what we live under, right? Which means that, how can I say this? So Jesus came to a people, was born into a culture where they had a certain doctrine, right? Traditions, rules, and laws that they believe that were given to them from God for their lives, right? This is their life. They have communication with God, and God gave them what they needed for their life. If I was preaching right now, I would say, look at your neighbor and say, mind your business for your life, right? Because he gives you what you need for your life. So this culture of people, which again we reverence and we're grateful that they shared the mighty testimonies that they experienced to show that God is absolutely real and can do all things. And so they're sharing, and Jesus comes because they're waiting for the Messiah. In their mind, the Messiah is coming for us. Not everybody, but for us.
Right.
For our lives, right? And they're teaching or they're sharing it from that perspective. Then you got a whole other world full of people out there that are living their individual for my lives, right? Their culture of people. Even in certain countries, they had different, it wasn't even about their one culture. So you have all these people who are living for their lives, and this Messiah is coming that they really truly believe is from God. He got the answers. He's going to save us from this wretched world, right? Because this is the perception now amongst the Jews. We're the ones that's suffering. We're the ones that's going to be delivered. We're the ones that's going to be saved. God is going to take us away from this wretched world.
Right.
This is their viewpoint. And everybody on the outside is simply just living to be living too. The wars are happening. People trying to take over territories. We see the same thing happening today. People trying to take over people's land, give it to us or you're going to be penalized. It's the same thing that keeps happening. That's only one part of what's happening in the earth.
Right.
The wars that we read about in the scriptures, the fights, the battles, that was only one perspective of what was going on in the rest of the world. You have the people out there that's being judged by those very same Jews and religious people. You got the people who, like you said, the lepers, the woman with the issue of blood. Do y'all realize that these people were put out of their communities because they were not perfect, or they did not have something going for themselves, or they were punished for just being who they were and living the experience?
Right.
He didn't ask for lepers. You know what I mean? Leprosy. She didn't ask to be bleeding out for 12 years.
Right.
Is that not what's going on today? We have people who have diseases that are incurable, as they say right now, and they have to be totally isolated and separated. And I understand health reasons and things like that, but this wasn't from a health reason perspective. This is from you're unclean. Obviously, you got some type of wickedness going on in you. So here you go. These are your repercussions.
Right.
Well, let's go back to the story of Job. It said he was a devout and upright man. So tell me why. And that's what he was saying. I don't dislike God. I don't hate him. I'm not mad at him, because how can I take what is good at the hand of God and not ever suffer anything that is bad at the hand of God? And
Right.
the Bible says with his tongue and with his mouth, he did not lie. So it is. Everything comes from God. God knows the whys. But because we don't know the whys, then we judge. Then we make it seem like everybody else is wrong but us. We have this certain personality type, and all of a sudden now you need to come on and do what I'm doing, because if you don't, then you're wrong. Everybody, Kaisa, has strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
We all do. And the reason why this is so important to understand, and when I ask the question, what if God is all of us? What I'm saying is, what if that person over there has a heart issue? Are they not just as much a part of God as you are with your own healthy body? Right? If this person over here has gone to jail, or we talk about hood mentality. I see so much judgment against hood mentality, and then the hood people are judging the rich people. The poor looking at the rich like, you don't need to be rich. You should make sure you give it all away. And the rich are looking like, well, I learned skills to do this. And if the rich say, hey, let me teach you those skills. But then the poor, or they say, no, I don't want all that, because it ain't about all that. And I need to make sure that, but you're suffering.
Right.
And you're angry because you don't have it. So if they take their strength, and this is how love works, right? Love fits everything together, because again, God is all things, bringing myself back together. I need you who are rich to understand the poor, and I need you who are poor to understand the rich, and I need you who are motherless to understand that the person with the mother is not the bad guy, and I need the person with the mother to understand that the one who you understand what I'm saying. Yep. We have to get to a place where we absolutely throw away all of our biases and judgments. That doesn't mean that you don't still get to have a preference.
Yep.
You still get to have a preference. Just don't make somebody else suffer because they have one too.
Right.
This is the introspection that Christ Joshua was speaking about. This is what he's saying. Listen, take that log out of your own eye before you go looking and inspecting somebody else's. Go within yourself. It also even speaks of God looking at the heart, while man looks at the outward actions and opinions and thoughts and preferences. And if yours is not mine, I don't like you. And if mine is not yours, you don't like me. How can we heal the land like that?
Yep.
How can God be God like that? Even to the person who doesn't believe in God the way you do. You can get upset about it all you want. But Jesus even said in the scriptures, I have those who are not even of this flock. I have those who are not even of the Jewish culture, is what he was saying, of these disciples, of my little specifics. We have a whole 18 years missing in the scriptures. Jesus was other places. There are people, the Hindus have it written where he visited their area. The Muslims in the Quran talk about Jesus and Mary. We're talking about, so when did it become personal just to us when he came to do it for all? So you can make it personal in the sense of just for me. You know, he came and did it just for me, but you cannot take it from the one that's singing it right beside you.
Right. Right.
It's just for them too. And so when you begin to get to know people and learn them and love them, I should have never had to feel afraid of giving this message, knowing that it's what God is saying, knowing that it's what Jesus talked about. I should not have ever had to grieve it or be afraid of doing it because of what the people would say.
Yeah.
I should have never worried about being judged by another Christian if they understood what the same Jesus you're talking about wanted.
Right.
I should never have had to feel that. And so there's so many people in the world right now that's feeling it.
Yeah. Yep.
So like one of the other things I say is, how can God make all things and then hate all things enough to punish all things? What sense does it make? Do you understand what I'm saying? That
Yep.
What sense does it make for you to make me just to crush me? And what sense that we built a whole doctrine around being punished, crushed, overwhelmed, God being angry. We built a whole message around it.
Yep.
But then we preach on a Sunday morning, get up in yourself, own your power and authority. You are strong. You are courageous. You are mighty. You're saying all of the stuff you see, and then you're tearing me down after that to tell me I'm just a filthy rag. Where does the self-worth and the self-esteem come from in these guys? Is where can we get the message of unconditional love if everything about me is wrong?
Yep.
Every condition is a problem.
Right.
But we serve a God that is so bad and so petty that he would make us just to say, I got control. If that's the God you serve, no wonder you unhappy all the dang on time and
Yep.
suffering and angry with everybody. What God makes me just to mock me? I don't believe that, and I'm not going to own that. Not another day in my life. Do you understand? I am free. I am loved. I am everything that he wants me to be, and I'm not too much. I'm just enough for who I'm just enough for.
Right. Yep. 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 I mean, she just because it's right with culture doesn't mean it's right with God. And she was speaking, you know, to me, it talked about all the things we do because it's our parents did it. When it comes to the church, our parents did it, our great-grandparents did it. We just have evolved into doing things this way. So that's just the way we do them. But it doesn't mean that it's the way God wants us to do them just because it's the way our predecessors did it. Like when you get into the word and you see how many times love is mentioned in the Bible, but it's the thing that we don't focus on. Like love is mentioned, but it's the one thing because I think it's like they're too afraid to act like they love everyone. You gotta be right before you come into the church. That doesn't make, if I gotta be right before I come to church, I don't need church. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I gotta be right before you love me.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. My relationship with Jesus is what is supposed to make me want to be better, not my relationship with the church or not my relationship with the preacher. I go to church to get community because it says do not forsake, the coming together. But if I come together and y'all make me feel unwanted, why would I want to come together?
Why would I want to come together?
And if I don't want to come together with you and you represent God, why would I want to love? Why would I want to be any part of your God? Like the people are turning people away from Jesus, and they forget that you are going to be held responsible for every soul that you cause to walk away. Like,
in the book of Romans, in the chapter of Romans, the book of Romans is just, a lot in there is speaking this very same message, because Paul is trying to explain that, yes, we are free. We're not bound. I don't have to worship as you worship. I don't have to look as you look. I don't have to, there was, none of that is necessary. But when we begin to look at Romans 2, Romans 14 is my thing. Y'all hear me say Romans 14 and Galatians 5 and Romans 2 a lot, because those are the verses that God really illuminated to me to help me to understand that we are free. We're literally not bound to ever have a title or a religion or any of those things. If there's no Jew nor Greek, then why we still repping sex? You know what I mean? I think officially I might start walking around just saying I'm a love walker instead of, titles, and not because I don't believe in Jesus, but because I do. Because I do believe that Yahshua ben Joseph existed. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I should be free of all of the stuff. And so Romans 2, Paul is saying to the Jews, it's your fault that people are down on God. It's your fault. He's talking to his cultural people. The reason why people don't want God, and I can only see that from a Christianity perspective because I've lived it my whole life.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the experience of seeking God and worshiping, and I love to worship, and I love to, I'm a prophet and I'm an apostle. I carry those titles as my job titles, but I am Shalonda Treasure Williams Lynard, the one that he loves in every capacity, in every role. And so when I think about being her, but I think about being rejected by the very people I sit with, I think about what Jesus went through, and I think about what Paul was saying. If I'm among you, it says when Jesus was walking the earth, it's like, a prophet is without honoring his own town amongst his own kin. Those are the ones that are telling me how blasphemous I am, or how much of a heretic I am, or how I'm wrong for bringing this message. But you were waiting for me. You were waiting for me to come, and now I'm too much.
right.
So I'm blasphemous, and I gotta die for it.
Right. Yeah.
Gandhi died for it. Martin Luther King died for it. You understand? These people came and gave a message of hope and got killed because you're trying to tell us to be one when we really want to be separate and hate each other. So let us do our thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And here's what I think. Again, because God created every concept, every thought. So even the stuff we think is wicked and wrong and bad and hateful, all that, he created all those things, all those ideas. There's nothing that exists without God, not one thing. The devil can't creep up on the corners of the universe and say, hey, I'm about to take over, because there is none but God. And so I may not understand it, but I need to learn how to respect it. So here's my thing. If you want to be mean and nasty and vicious, and if you want to be doing all the stuff you're doing, do it in your community with your people who want to do the same thing. Y'all go ahead and get y'all a whole corner of the earth where y'all can destroy each other. But over here where we sitting, we want to enjoy each other's company, have a little wine, do whatever we do, chill out, laugh, joke, dance, enjoy each other. Why can't we do that if you want to be able to do what you're doing on that side? So right. I don't like it, to say the least. I don't want wickedness, and I don't want people to be hurt. But I also can't deny that they're also created by him and
right.
loved by him. Right. And there's root causes a lot of times to why they feel the way they feel. So if I'm in the loving community and this person over here has committed murders, and I judge them for committing murders without going to the depth of what they've been through, then I'm just as bad as anybody else that's judgmental. So when I think about that, I literally see again the person that has the hood mentality. But were you there when they watched their mama get shot in front of them? Were you there when the person was supposed to bring them something to eat but decided that they wouldn't?
Right.
You have a group of people that may still not be free from the mindset of slavery and bondage, but you're judging them instead of helping them heal the broken place so that they can then stand strong and go help another person. Like, we're here to love. And even if that concept doesn't seem right to you, maybe you should find out why.
Right. Right.
Me and my husband, and I tell this often because this is probably one of the most profound movies I've ever watched. And I like villain stories. And it's not because I'm worshiping the villain, but it's because I love to see where their beginning was. We watched Joker, and I was so moved. I mean, literally, my husband, who doesn't really, he ain't really emotional unless it comes to me, right? But even he was in his thoughts and in his feelings, like, oh my God, like, how do you expect the person, and this is what I'm saying, how do you expect a person who has lived through that type of chaos and turmoil and rejection? And I won't spoil the movie unless y'all, go watch it, but how can you suffer through somebody kicking you down and beating you down on the subway because you have a disorder? How do you rise up from a situation like that if everybody around you is kicking you down and beating you down, and when you go to get the help, it's been taken away?
Yep.
How do you expect for them to emerge?
Yep.
How do you expect for the little girl exactly who saw the mother get killed, the one who, and it was done by her boyfriend? How do you expect her to grow up in this world without thinking that all men are this or that or the other? I ain't never gonna let no man do this to me, so I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna do this. And how do you expect her to emerge?
Right.
How do you expect the one that did grow up in a third world country that once was very rich in culture, now struggling to make it by, and we're watching it? And I'm not saying that people shouldn't do infomercials, because we do want people to go and support those communities, but we see the images of the rib cages and we see the images of the swollen bellies, but not because I'm full, but because I'm empty.
Yep.
And we judge that, but we don't live in that. And the bondage of not knowing that they can be free. That's the message of liberty and freedom we're supposed to go give them. Hey, you don't have to live this way. How can we help you not? Or, hey, do you want to leave this place and go explore something else? No, instead we judge them for not being the right religion.
Yep.
Now I'm about to say this. I'm about to give you, no, go ahead and say what you were about to say.
I was gonna say, or not practicing the way that they think we should.
Or not practicing the way that we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm big, I'm loud, I'm boisterous, because you know what I mean? Because I don't know the proper way to put my hands up, or I don't know. Me and Fred had a little bit of this conversation when we were talking, because why can't I just be the one that's quiet and sitting towards the back? Now, I'm one of those people that if you sitting quiet and towards the back, the first thing I'm going to do is scan to see whether it's because you need something or whether that's just your disposition. If you need liberty, if you need love, if you need kindness, I'm going to offer that to you. But if you're just an introvert, and then somebody would beg to say, well, they're only introverted because they got issues and circumstances. Well, are you only loud and bold and boisterous because you didn't get attention as a kid, so now you're screaming because you want somebody to see you? See, we only see through our perspective. And because we only see through our eyes, then we have a problem with anybody that steps outside of that. So I was going to say a few minutes ago, there's one of, I guess, and I've called him now I can call him a father in the gospel that I connected to as a mentor from afar. But Bishop Carson D. Pearson, who just passed away last month, was labeled heretic. Hey, grandbaby. Oh, so I'm so distracted. So he was labeled heretic, labeled blasphemous, labeled all these things, excommunicated from the church, kicked out, lost his church, lost congregation, lost his income. Now, mind you, for 30-something years, 40-something years, he's a part of an organization full of other Christians that when he came with a revelation from God, now you ain't had no problem with every other revelation that he gave. You didn't have no problem when he was doing Azusa Street and all these fundamentalists were coming out to tell you if you don't get it together, you're gonna die and go to hell. When he was doing that, you didn't have a problem. When he was making sure you kept people in line and in order, you didn't have a problem. Even then, he was a loving individual, just preaching what he knew, right? And now, people are trying to people are trying to make it seem as if they never had a problem, but you look everywhere on the internet and you have two different sides of people. The ones that's trying to be repentant, well, three. The ones that's repentant because they rejected you, the ones who always did follow you and believe the message, and the ones that saying, I had goody for him, now he's dead because he preached a different gospel.
Wow.
Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
This man was so deep into this because he was a bishop, and he was in the back rooms with the people who were preaching hypocritical messages instead of just saying, hey, we all have our fault or our flaw. Let's just do this worship thing together. Instead, let me make you feel guilty for every fault and flaw you have while I live out my own, and I won't even call them secret desires, but when I'm being my authentic self behind the scenes, who I really am.
Right.
So instead of me being able to yield and just simply say, this is who I am, can you take me as I am? I'm going to make you feel guilty for doing the things that I think that you shouldn't do, or I read it in the Bible. I'm going to be real with you, Kai. We worship something that has been translated thousands of times instead of getting the whole of the message. The message is still there. I don't care how much you try to translate it. You can't take away the message. And the message is, love ye one another as I have loved you.
Yep. Yep. I say that all the time. Like, the Bible has been translated. Parts have been taken out. Books have been taken out. It's been like, I just saw maybe a month or so ago that they stripped the Bible down so much when there were slaves. It gave them only the parts that talked about obey your masters.
Yeah.
Like the Bible has been stripped so much, but the message, like Tony would say, the message still, if you really truly read it, the message is to love. We are all God's children. We are all one under God. There is no hierarchy. We are all on the same level. Like, we
just have different roles to play. You know, we are all on the same level, just with different roles to play. Even the CEO should not ever be cruel to the janitor.
Yes.
Because if you didn't have the janitors, then you wouldn't have anybody to clean your buildings, because you have to do your thing. You have to come together with the plans and meet with the people and do all this. So you have a different role than me.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you're better than me, or nor am I better than you. And I think that's another thing. You know, I've had so many people turn and walk away in this season. And some of them walked away because they were just simply following their own life and path. And some of them, you know, stepped away because I'm too much, you know. And I believe there's a deep love for me somewhere in there, because they just kind of walk away instead of, you know, bashing me or trying to hurt me, some of them. But the message of we're free is too much for them, because then they feel that it takes the attention off of Jesus. That we want to keep putting on the cross every day and burying every day and resurrecting every day. It is finished.
Right.
So what did he say for us to do? It's kind of like when you are an older sibling, which he is, you know, according to the faith, right? Our older brother that we reign with. If we take our consciousness or our mind to another level, we'll reign with him. Other than that, we're gonna stay in a low position. But what did he say that we need to follow? If let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who thought it not robbery to count himself as equal with God.
Mute your mic and then come back on. Your sound changed for a hot second. Mute it and then come back. See if that works.
Did it?
No. I mean, you're still there. It just sounds a little different. You sound a little muffled or something for some reason.
Well, look, we're live, but we can go ahead and do this thing, right? Can't I just go out and come back in?
Yeah, try that.
All right.
We're gonna try to fix it for a second, y'all. We're gonna try to fix it real quick. We're gonna let Queen, she's gonna pop out and then she's gonna pop right back in. But I'm telling y'all, invite a friend. Please share this broadcast. If you're watching from the TrailBlazerz YouTube, click on that button that says share. Make sure that you share it on your page, share it on your inbox. Let the folks know that we are here and that Queen Shalonda is here. We want to make sure that we spread this message. Quick commercial break. That's right. This is TrailBlazerz Radio. Make sure that you subscribe. I am here every Monday. We're going to start going live at 11. If you'd like to be a guest, you come on and you hit me up so that we can chat and we can break bread together. We're going to chat about everything under the sun. But Shalonda is a dynamic woman, and you are blessed to be in her presence. I know I am always blessed when I even just say good morning to her. So you want to be here. You want to, take part. You want to do everything that you can to make sure that you're here. If you have any questions for her, drop them in the comments, because we will make sure that we get them to her, and I will make sure that I get them to her and that we ask them, anything, any questions, because she's been doing this for a while, and I'm just blessed to have her on here. So she is back. Let's see.
Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Yes.
Getting them frequencies. But I did My team is watching. They said they're listening and they didn't hear the change. But if it
Okay.
happens again, so you can hear, if it happens again, I'll just keep talking and she'll alert me if they can hear it differently. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, let's go back because like you said, you've been doing this for some time, and I've known you. I mean, me and Tony been together 14 years, but I've known you way, a few, probably 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, at least 20 years. Where did Shalonda, how did this evolution, transpire? Like what happened that one day you said, you know what, I have something, whatever. I don't even know how it happened. How did it happen? How did Shalonda become the Shalonda she is today?
Shalonda has always been this Shalonda. You know what I mean? Like that, real talk. And my journey was not that I haven't always been this person. My journey was being this person, being crushed as this person, and then reemerging as this person, if that makes sense. I often talk about me being, my mama used to say, girl, you was always giving, you come home, I know you left with hair bows. I know you left with socks on. Now you don't have either one. How you lose socks at school, okay? But I wasn't losing socks at school. I was giving them away to my friends.
Yeah.
And I remember just wanting to be people's friend. And, people talk, in psychology, we have a whole lot of things that we, test theories about, and somebody may say that, oh, she was just trying to get attention because she's just this, that, or the other, whatever. I don't remember that. I just remember being her. I remember being the one that was like 5 years old, sitting on the phone, having full-blown conversations with adults, like, we having real good conversation. I remember being the one that people came to talk to me about their problems and their issues.
Yeah.
To get my advice and my thoughts. Even when I was a kid, I was writing people love letters in first grade. Yeah, I remember one time I got in trouble because I drew the body parts on the bottom of it, and the teacher.
Oh Lord.
So I've always been a people's person. Can I say that? Like, okay, you need that, because it was just a part of my nature. I'm not too nice. Right. I'm love and motion. And I remember being her, but I remember them being bullied. And I remember being rejected. And I remember being the only girl, always the new person. I remember being her. And I remember everybody already had their established cliques, so I just didn't fit. And if I was going to fit, then I needed to do something that was going to make me feel like totally awful just to fit in with you.
Right, right.
This is how everything comes full circle, though. I'm feeling some type of way about being her at this point. But then I begin to think, well, maybe they feel like they don't fit too. So they just do it a different way to get their love and their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me not treat them like they treat me then. Let me keep trying to be nice to them. So maybe they'll feel better about themselves and not treat me this way or people like me. The perspective of love is just a reverse mirror of what we consider wickedness. Everything is dual.
Yep.
Does it sound so good?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So everything is dual. We're literally standing back to back. I'm looking from this view. You're looking from that one. I'm looking from the view of being bullied, hurt. And so my actions now, my outward appearance is showing the rebellious girl or the mentally ill girl, which of course that's a whole nother topic. It goes to the Black girl. It goes to just being a girl, period. I'm looking at everything through these eyes of rejection because I'm not you. And then the other side of me is saying, oh, they didn't have what they needed growing up. Let me give them what they needed growing up. Or let me give them what they need in this moment. Let me sit with this homeless person that definitely may smell because they've been out here in this world where they probably showed up because they felt rejected at some point. Or they felt liberated enough to just want what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never know which one it is if I never talk to them. I'll
Right.
never know. So I've always been this person, but so that I've lived out my entire dual thing. This is the journey. The journey is hurt and pain because we deal with people who judge us, but it's also us showing up to be healing agents. Those of us who choose to follow Yahshua, then what we're doing is choosing to be the one that heals the brokenness instead of being the one who is judging the brokenness.
Yes.
So I've been her all my life. So when we go through what people may call, backsliding or, godly with just the most wicked of the wicked, that's when most of the time we are crying out for help and we're coping and we're trying to live to cope, you know what I mean, with life. We're drowning out the sorrows and the pain, all the different things that people look at in judgment and say, you need to get your life together. You know what I mean? You need to get your life together. You can't tell me to get my life together and you're not willing to be a part of the healing of it.
Right.
It's like the scripture that tells us, if a person is cold and they come and they need a coat, don't just tell them to go, I'm going to pray for you. If you got a coat, give them a coat.
Yes.
Well, they should be able to get their own coat. They should be able to manage this better and do this better. Well, could it be that their weakness, right, is because of what they endured, and your weakness is because of what you endured? Right. Now, those of us who are strong, let us bear the infirmity of the weak one. To bear the burden of one another is to fulfill the law of Christ. What does that mean? To love one another is the gospel.
Yep.
And then maybe they'll stand up on those legs, wobbly at first. Wobbly legs at first. But the more we hold them up, the strong, and the more listen, this is the perspective. You got the one that's doing the holding up, right? All right, I got you. I'm going to hold you up. And then you got the other person that's the drill sergeant of sort, kind of, that can say, hey, we got you. We're holding you up, but we need you to move your legs. So move your legs. Those are the therapists and people who are willing to help you strengthen your legs. They may be telling you a thing you need to do to get strong. And then you got the ones that are holding up your arms long enough for you to get strong. And
right.
Then you got the ones that after everybody has to move away, you got the one that's directing you to come forward. Okay, let's do this therapy. Go ahead and walk on them. You're doing great. You're doing great. All needs met because we're all different and have different focuses. And so I just come to a place now, Kai, where I can't love the gay couple when we chilling at the house and we're sipping on something and we laughing and everybody kikiing and you talk about how great they look, and then when you get in public with them, you got to pretend like you never did any of that and you hate them because it goes against what you think is true. Right. But the Bible says, well, the Bible is the testimonies of the people that were in that particular culture, and they can only say what they didn't agree with. Right. What God told them not to do. And so then you have the people out there saying, hey, let us in. We're not trying to be anything. We just are. Right. I just want to show up as my genuine self, just like you want to show up at your genuine self. And to the point where I can say to you, I may not agree with that lifestyle. So we may not be able to just communicate because I don't want to judge you for being you. So let me just walk away. But it doesn't mean I hate you. I'm not going to pick it for you to die. I'm not going to call on heaven's fire to burn you up because I don't agree. I just can't participate. Thus Romans 14, right? This person may eat this person may not. They both do it unto God. Let it be. This person reverences every day alike. This one thinks that one day is more special than the other. Let it be. And then it goes on to say, it's not about the differences. It's about you not trying to cause somebody to stumble with your difference. So I may not want to deal with gay people, but I want to deal with pedophilish people. I don't want to deal with gay people, but I want to deal with ruthless, angry, nasty leaders who beat their congregation down and condemn them if they don't do what they say, control their lives and call it God.
Yeah, we definitely
can't come out of order. You better get in order. Talking to a grown 50-something-year-old person. You out of order because you're not doing it my way. We are so hypocritical.
Yep.
And because well, I'm not doing what they doing. No, but you're doing something similar. And all of us are either trying to survive, feel validated, feel loved, feel understood. Who's not trying to feel that?
Yeah.
And the person who says that they're not, the person who says that they're not is the person that's hurting the worst sometimes.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
We ain't going nowhere.
Oh, they trying.
The frequencies get messed up. We still gonna teach the message because here's there are people listening, and I know that they know who they are. I'm not here to judge it, but you're listening to me and you're judging me because I've chosen a particular path. So much so that the frequencies of negativity begin to look. This is all matter. It's all energy. So while you putting out your energy, hating what I'm saying, judging me like crazy, you would feel some type of way if I begin to talk about the judgmental. I said, God, help me not be judgmental of the judgmental, because I don't want to then flip and do the very same thing you're doing to me right now.
Right.
To you on the radio.
Right.
So so much so that the frequencies begin to change. Glitches begin to happen. This is what and again, don't think I'm against the church system. I'm just against the ones that's hypocritical in the church system. I don't believe in bullies. Yes. I don't believe in bullies. So when we're showing up and we're changing frequencies, that's not witchcraft. But when you look at the girl with the black nails and the hair and all the different things that you think is associated with wickedness, okay, I'm wearing black, y'all. Am I wicked today? Like, oh, they got them all black. Okay. It's their style. It's the thing they like, right? But when they show up, then that's witchcraft. Then they're the ones that we need to rebuke and burn. But when they begin to put a spell on you because of what you're doing to them, they're the devil and you're not.
Yeah.
Come on. When are we really gonna stop and understand what Jesus meant when he said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged. Condemn not, lest ye be condemned. Forgive so you can be forgiven." Yep. Stop looking from the side of judgment. And don't think here's the thing. If you've been rejected and judged and mistreated your whole life, again, you're going to send forth frequencies of an unclean, unloving heart. You hate some people. But if I'm looking at that unloving heart, say it's a child that done been through a lot of things, they come into the community center, they acting out, and I'm looking at their acting out, and I'm about to put rules and laws on their acting out. And then I'm going to make them feel more rejected so they can go do more vandalism so I can judge some more of that. And oh, they so right. That's why they in jail right now. That's why they keep going back and forth inside the jail. And then you get the therapist or the counselor in the jail to go in and say, "Hey, what happened?"
Right. Well,
when did it start?
That's what like I was saying, the pastor's wife. I keep saying confirmation in my head because you were speaking everything that she spoke yesterday. Everything that she spoke. She talked about. She went in like her main message was about Sarai and in that whole situation and how church as a whole looks at it as she had this faith that she was going to have a child. But like, if you look at the scriptures, she didn't. She looked at her circumstances, which was, I'm at this age, she's at this age, which is why she said, take my maiden, take this, which was what we might be like, oh, why would you do that? But that was culture back then.
Right? It was.
And then she got mad. Like, wait, you had a baby and I can't have a baby, and you had a baby. Now I'm mad at you. Now I'm mad at him.
We see it.
Like
we see it in everyday life.
Like, get back to the root and figure out why. Like, go back and see. And then, like you said, we just want to judge what we see right now. We don't want to go back and figure out why is this woman doing this? Why does this child act this way? Why do people no, we just want to judge what we see, judge.
In their presence, judge. But that's the same thing that happened on the flip side with Hagar, with her maiden. You're literally somebody's slave.
Right.
You're
I ain't got no choice.
because they were, you know, you weren't a maiden because it was the job you took. You know, people apply to be a maid now. It's an honorable profession. But
Right.
back then they were made to do things, captured and made slaves. And Hagar is having now to have the baby of this man. Who said she ever wanted to in the first place? Who said she
Right.
just didn't want to go about doing her little duties, honey, going to get some chicken to cut up while she
Right.
you know, or helping Sarah get just so she comes into the situation forced in it. And then yes, then she's finally getting from Abraham, I guess, maybe some of the attention she wanted, because she wasn't being paid attention to. So now she gets a little cocky. It sounds like the rivalries we have right now.
Right.
Sarah's like, oh, you're not about to get cocky, so y'all got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But now you get
And we
kicked out.
don't even know. Like
You
you were saying, we don't even know. Maybe to Sarah, it looked like she was getting cocky. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Sarah could have just been like upset. You know what I mean? She could have just been in her feelings because here's this maiden. She had my husband's baby. Now I feel and like when she brought back like if you take it back even further before that, when they went into Egypt and Abram said, you can't say I'm your husband. You can't say I'm your husband.
It was a whole straight lie.
So you let them take me. You didn't come get me. You got wealthy off of me. Then you went and you saved your cousin, your nephew and them. You went and saved your nephew and them, but you ain't come save your wife. You ain't come save me.
Yeah.
Who knows what they, you know what I mean? What Pharaoh would have done to her in there if God didn't protect her, she wasn't touched. But that don't mean she wasn't looking over her shoulder every day.
Yeah.
Like, when is this man going to call me into his chambers? I'm a married woman. This man trying to be the first one that I have a baby by, but my blessing is God said I'm supposed to have a baby with him, and he done handed me over. You know what I mean? Like there's so many
things. Lie. That is exactly right. And so when you look at it from her perspective, you see the hurt, the pain, the rejection, the issues, the circumstances, and then her acting out. That's what we do. We act out to get what we need. And it was so this is what leads into what if God is all of us, because now think about Hagar having to leave with her son, the son that you wanted me to have. Because see, now we're looking at both perspectives. You told me to sleep with your husband.
Right.
So you can redeem yourself in this season because it's a reproach if you don't. Right. So you got me having his baby. And now I got to go with mine. You're going to give us some bread and water and send us on our way.
Yeah.
No provision, no nothing. Here we go, baby mamas. All right. Single baby mamas trying to raise kids on your own. And they go out into this place and they're crying out, crying. And God hears the cry of her son and says, he'll be a great nation. It is said that the nation of Islam descended from Ishmael. If you look in the Quran, you'll see where they acknowledge Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Ishmael, because Ishmael was left out of the Bible we read every day, except to say he wasn't the chosen one. The whole entire beginning New Testament is about us being the chosen ones, about us needing the attention of God, about him loving us so much that everybody else gets the fire.
Yeah.
So this is all perspectives. Everybody's perspective has played into what we have in this earth today. But if we keep looking through the eyes of the broken person, we're never going to be able to heal anything. God said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then I can hear from heaven and heal the land. Well, to turn from your wicked ways, what must happen? You must finally feel redeemed or understood or be loved.
Yep.
No longer rejected. So we have all these different perspectives. Now, if Ishmael telling it from his perspective, he's going to tell it the way he told it.
Right.
He's going to pass down this information because in his mind, I'm the rejected son. Yep. How dare he? Oh, they so wicked. He's the rejected son. So yes, there's there may be some hurt in his heart. So when you look at Islam and when you look at the over there overseas and you think about the bombers and things like that, they are from a rejected perspective.
Yep.
So y'all stop coming in trying to take over. Now we're defensive. Okay, by any means necessary, we're going to blow up any threat to us. People are tired of feeling threatened.
Yep.
And so they rebel, and they resurrect their own means of doing the very same thing to you. See, Kai, this is the reason why we can't judge the war. We can pray however that peace would come. And we can begin to align ourselves that we are peace in the earth. And we can walk in peace, and we can love in peace, and we can do all the things that we need to help heal the land.
Yep.
So I don't like war. I don't want to think about people dying. But there are those who are willing to go into the battle because they feel like they're fighting for something worth keeping. Because I'm tired of losing, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm a castaway. Mm-hmm. So let me create a community where I feel like I'm important. Not because I'm trying to be the biggest, baddest thing out here, but because I'm saying, hey, I'm here too.
Yep. Don't forget about me.
Don't forget about me. Again, you don't have to participate in the madness, but you also should be able to look at this thing and say, I can see how that's true. I can see how they can get to that point. So instead of me judging it, let me go into my time and pray for it. Jesus said, pray for your enemies. Bless those that despitefully use you. Bless your enemies. Yep. Pray for those who despitefully use you. And we're looking from this perspective. I'm looking from the perspective of defense and protecting myself because I don't want to hurt anymore. I coach, and as a coach, I'm coaching people all the time that's just saying, that thing happened to me. And then you should be the one that's standing strong and say, you know what? I know what happened to you, but I'm going to be something that's different. So I know it's hard to trust me, but let me love you. Let me continuously love you until you can feel safe here. Let me continuously be there present for you so you can feel safe again. And yes, there may still be some people who hurt you in this life because they're feeling the same pain you're feeling.
Yep. People want people to just get over it. Like, I don't know how many times I've been told by people in the church, you should be over that by now.
By now.
With that, you should be over that by now.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a time limit, but you haven't done anything to help me. You don't even know what it is. You don't know how it has affected me.
Yeah.
You just think you've been going to church for 5 years and you're still dealing with that. Well, has the church done anything to help me get through it?
Except for make me feel worse while I'm acting out.
Right.
I'm acting out of my pain. Yes, this is how I became the prostitute, because when we needed food, we didn't get it from you. So I got to feed my family somehow.
Right.
I don't have the same education as you, so I can't get the job because I don't qualify for the job. But then you're mad because I'm on welfare, but you won't give me the job. You're judging me because I'm on welfare. You're judging me because we do things different in our neighborhood. And we barter because ain't none of us got the money to go do certain things. So instead we exchange like they did back in biblical days. We exchange. You do this service, I do this service for you. Everything wasn't all about the money and the money alone. Now, is it important that we understand love enough to know that we give unto others because they gave us something? Especially in the spiritual community, we deserve our higher too. We deserve to be able to eat as we strive. Don't muzzle the ox is what the scripture says. So we deserve what we have to get to, but we love. Y'all supposed to be loving. Y'all supposed to be caring. This is free and that's free. Yes, but it's not free where I live. Mm-hmm. It's not free that, our lights and water and gas is not free. So we have to understand the principle of sowing and reaping. If you go to a restaurant, you're going to pay your tab.
Yeah.
And then you got the waitress or the waiter, they need their tip.
Yeah,
because they make $2.50 something an hour and they need the money that's coming. And instead of you judging them because, well, she shouldn't be acting like that. Maybe, just maybe, you might be the one to say, hey, so how are you? Are you good? You the one that instead of being led by your own stinginess, you're led by God to know how much to give them if you got it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, it should still be in you to pray that they get everything they need before they have to go home and buy diapers for their children.
Yeah.
Well, we get just do a flip, instead of looking through the eyes. And here, this is where we all fit, though. We're all in this. So yes, hurt begets hurt, but love can begin to heal all of the hurt.
Yeah.
So therefore, you can show up and be respectful to me while you my waitress or my waiter, and I can sense that you're well established and everything is good in your life. You blessed? Yes, I'm blessed. Well, awesome. Amen. Right? And if there's something you're missing, can I fill the gap? And if I can't fill the gap, can I suggest you to the one who may be able to?
Yes, that
So
part.
if we just understanding the law of love, that's the only law there is that needs to be regulated. And when we start having other rules and regulations to, kind of regulate things so things don't get out of hand, we still need to have enough grace if it does, because they don't understand it the way that you understand it. Let them fall down, let them get back up. Sometimes you may have to clean the cut and scrape and clean the knee, and sometimes you may have to say, okay, go ahead and get up. You done fell a few times. Go ahead and get up. I'm about to show you how you can win. I'm not gonna do the cleaning for you. You're gonna have to do the cleaning. You're gonna have to go in there. You know how many times we have laid at the altar, we've gone to the altar crying out for God to take it away, crying out for God to I can't even name how many times I've done that. I'm crying for God to take away the very thing that he gave me because you're judging it. I'm asking him to take away my uniqueness. This is how I feel about people with mental health disorders and people who are born autistic or born with Down syndrome or born with a mental retardation. Listen, they have a perspective too.
Yep.
We may not be able to understand it. They may not be able to articulate it, so their actions show it. How about I have compassion for your disability? Because in your eyes, it's your normal.
Yep.
In your eyes, it's not a disability. You just have a different limitation than I do. Because who doesn't have a limitation? Who doesn't have a limitation? So when we begin to look at it from that perspective, when I ask that question, what if God is all of us? This is what I'm talking about. If he is omnipresent everywhere at one time, that means I'm included in that. So he's in me. Jesus said to them, they said, well, when will this kingdom of God come? When will the kingdom of heaven come? And he says, you're not going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to observe it, say, go over there, lo, there it is, or lo, there it is, because the kingdom of God is within you. It's within you. So you may have to bring some order to your kingdom. This is where the fruit of the spirit ends with temperance, which is self-control, self-governance. This is what Jesus is telling us. Search yourself, search your heart. I know you were hurt 20 years ago, but now I need you to check that so you can mend it and heal it. So it's not, and the reason why grace is necessary is because he doesn't put a limit on it.
Right.
But he will tell you, hey, listen, I know that that's what you want to do and you want to act out in that. But this is if you're choosing the results that come from it, I'm not going to take that choice from you. So if you're going to keep using these drugs, even though we're extending this thing to tell you that you're loved, you can heal this, everybody's not going to do that to you. But if you keep doing the thing you're doing, hey, let me go ahead and raise up this person over here, this scientific person or this nutritionist or this physician that's telling you, hey, if you keep stressing, you're going to die. Because your body is made up of this and this and this and this, and it's showing all the intricate details and how it all works together.
Right.
How it all works together. That organ may look real ugly, but it definitely can take the heat. It's been bearing your burdens. You may not like them, but they fit in here somewhere. Yeah. All jumbled up. But every need supplies. So when you begin to see that even if I don't like it or I don't understand it, I need to be the one that just learns how to accept it and love them.
Yeah.
And maybe they can feel the wholeness that you think you feel enough to judge them.
I mean, if we look at, I mean, Jesus gave us the perfect, he gave us the example of how accepting he is of everybody, no matter, look at the people that were chosen to be his disciples.
Yeah.
If we look at the people he literally walked with that made his circle, they were all flawed. Like they were like the flawed of the flawed. The people that we mention in the Bible, they were flawed. You know what I mean? Like God is saying that to us.
Here's the thing. It's only a flaw in the eye of the beholder. Like Jesus didn't see flaw in them. The religious people saw flaw in them, so they wrote it like that.
Right.
You got what I'm saying? Here is this perspective again. If I'm ADHD, and that's according to the title of the label, based on the performances. Okay, so based on your acting outs, this is what ADHD looks like. I was diagnosed bipolar 1. This is what that looks like. When I look at both of those lists, I see me. So I didn't reject it. It was what it was. Thank you now for helping me understand me.
Right.
But if I didn't tell anybody, only an expert looking at me would be able to tell.
Right.
Because in their eyes, I'm interesting. In their eyes, they're studying my movements, they're studying my mind, so in that person's eyes, I'm interested. I'm not flawed to them. I have these different traits and qualities, and they make up something. Right. Labels like ADHD or bipolar disorder or autism, all those things, labels came just as a way of people understanding what they're looking at.
Right.
To some people, that was a bad thing. Oh, this is a bad behavior. Let me explore it so that I can help eradicate it. I don't want to see this behavior. And the other person is studying to say, man, this is so different. There's so much beauty in that autistic child. Do you see how gifted they are in this area? Like you're upset because they're temper tantrum. They're trying to explain themselves the best way they know how. You're upset with them because of that. But what I see in that is their way of saying, I'm special.
Yeah. I'm
here too. So we have these different perspectives. Sin. Jesus said this literally, he came to take away the law of sin and death. To dim the sin consciousness. We are a sin-ridden community and nation and everything's bad. Again, I just showed you through the eyes of the murderer. They're seeing life as a threat. They were the ones who were beaten down and they didn't want to feel that pain anymore. So because I don't want to feel this pain anymore, let me take out anything that looks like this.
Yeah.
So again, to us, because somebody's getting murdered, we like, oh my God, that is so awful. That's crazy. And to them, they're saying, yeah, another one gone. They can't hurt nobody else. And it doesn't make sense to us because that's like, oh my God, they really need help. But can you help them to see a different perspective, maybe? Hey, I know you're angry. I know you're angry about what happened, but can you pray that their behavior changes?
Yeah.
Instead of killing them, but they're not going to see through that perspective when they're enraged and they're angered. But if I can understand them, maybe I can help to bear that burden and then fulfill the law of Christ. We created a religious or movement, just like the Jews did. We created another one. And then we're saying that that's who Jesus was, and we got to do. And Jesus is saying, look, what y'all teaching and preaching, hey, that's not what I was talking about. You're doing the very thing that the people that I was talking to was doing. Stop doing that. Stop judging.
Yep.
And just be with the peoples. You know, he says, I didn't come to destroy you. I didn't come to take you out. I'm going to destroy some things in you, though.
Right.
So that we can sweep away the debris. But I'm not coming to judge you. I'm coming to help heal you. So when he would say to the people, will thou be made whole? This is a whole nother thing. He's asking the question because he's giving you the choice to choose.
Yes.
You know, do I want to be made whole or do I want to stay in this position? Whatever you choose, it's up to you. And I still love you and I ain't got no judgment for you, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next person that wants it.
Right.
So all in all, God made it this way for a reason. And we're going to either try to understand it or we're going to keep tearing everything that we don't understand down and making it worse and then getting mad when they rise up and say, we ain't taking this ish no more.
Right. Exactly. Because you can't, you can't have it both ways, but we want it. They, people want it both ways. It's like, and I don't, I mean,
it's okay. It's okay for us to be dual creatures. We were created to be it. We're created to hurt, and we're created to sing and to dance and to be creative. We're created, and we there's a philosophy that I was finally able to embrace because for a long time, because I was, underneath the fundamentalist Christian movement, right, or organization, the thoughts that I was having were all against what they were teaching. Most of them most of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was ashamed to say, but no, like that doesn't make sense. This kind of makes more sense. And I was afraid again to step up and just be it, say it, just whatever. But here we are in a community of people, and we're teaching them about a God that is all things and does all things and created all things, but then we're judging that one perspective by saying it's not of God. Aren't we contradicting when we say that something is of God and then something is not of God, but we're saying that God is all? We're contradicting. He said, I created all things for myself, even the wicked for the evil day. I created it all because I know my method.
Right.
You see my madness. You're seeing the destructive view. Let me help you heal that. But while I'm helping you heal that, I'm still not judging you for being that because I created you to be that. You understand?
Yes.
I would refuse to admit that I believed in this particular perspective, but I believe in that it's only evil because you say it is. And I believe that it's evil because you're void of love and you're sitting in judgment. So when I think about evil, I don't think call fire and brimstone down on them, because they're the perspective of the hurt and the broken. What you call evil, somebody else is just seeing brokenness and shame and regret. So one of the philosophies is that we chose before we came. We chose with God, because the Bible says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So that literally means spirit just merges right back into the spirit. We're with him. Somebody sees that as heaven when we're in his presence, because we separate him from us. Somebody else sees that as nirvana, or this place of absolute beautiful pleasure. And, we blissful. We doing everything that makes us feel good, even if you think it's wicked. Right? They're just chilling, just a beautiful existence after. Somebody else says we burn for all eternity. Somebody else says that there's purgatory and we're just sitting and waiting for judgment. So then we're going to walk up one by one. God is going to judge each of us one by one, and as if we're not going to be spirit. So everybody's seeing from different perspectives. But when I heard the philosophy a long time ago, we choose our path. So before we come here, we're pretty much, we've decided, hey, I'll take on that form. That perspective is so illuminating, Kai, because it also gives people the responsibility back to own the decisions they've made.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still compassionate enough to understand, hey, when they come into this flesh, they knew it before they got here, but once they were born through the birth canal, they forgot, and now they're humans. And they're trying to navigate their way on this journey with all the roadblocks and the bumps and the ditches and the holes, and we're all on our different paths. We don't know and remember that we chose it.
Yeah.
So we judge it, we hate it. But here's when God got me to really, really see this perspective again. My sister was dying from cancer. And we knew, me and a couple of other people, we knew when she first got diagnosed, along with her children. But she didn't want anybody else to know. She didn't want anybody else to know, because in her mind, when they bring their negative energy, what we would call in the church their lack of faith, right? They're bringing that skepticism in here. I don't want that. I don't want people who don't believe with me that God can heal my body.
Okay.
And so she didn't tell anyone, but we went through these motions. She got rebaptized. Our other sister and me, we rebaptized her because that's what she desired. She just wanted to be cleansed. We went through all type of motions. She was so big in faith, Kai, where she would say, even if I do die, God can raise me up. That's just how powerful he is. This is how strong her faith is, to believe that God can do all things.
Right.
And then she dies. And I didn't have a I'm angry at you. Well, I'm not angry at you, God, for being God, but I'm angry, God, that you allowed this to happen, because we were taught that God allows everything to happen, and
Yep.
he's just so destructive. And he going, all these things. So at this point, I'm going based on my belief system or what I've been taught. And right now, God, you let my sister die.
Yep.
This is how grieving people feel sometimes. Well, bereaved people who are still in grief, they're looking at it from the perspective of they had all this faith, they believed in you so much, and you still let them down.
Yeah, because that's what we're taught. If you believe hard enough, anything, you just have to have enough faith that it'll happen.
That's what we were taught, because we were taught that faith was about believing that God will do all things for us.
Right. Yep.
But we weren't taught that faith was about what you believe. Let every man be convinced within themselves. So even if you have faith that everything around you is going to fail, it's going to fail. What you think about you is true. What you see from your perspective is true. So we weren't taught to see faith from that perspective. I can have what I say. Now we've done a lot of quoting stuff. I can have what I say. I seeking and asking not. We're saying it, but we don't believe it, because we're taught the total opposite, that God is his plan. He gonna do it no matter what, and that's just the way it's gonna happen, and so let it be. So the people who were taught that I have to suffer to reign with Christ are literally living a life of suffering, thinking that they have to suffer in order to get something good from God. That's what they believe. Thus, that's their reality. That's faith. So when you think about it from that perspective, and then my sister dies, and I'm laying there and I'm going through the motions, but I didn't feel pressed to get out of it just yet. God would let me rest, and he would let me be angry, and he would let me be mad, and he would come to me still because he loved me so much. And he would comfort me, because I know you hurting. I know you mad because she died. And all that faith she got, and so I was given the peace to grieve and be angry. I was given the okay to just be. God took me to the scripture where Elijah had just prophesied to Jezebel, and now he's feeling threatened, and he runs away, and he goes and sits under the juniper tree depressed. I just take my life. See, I just had all that power back there to prophesy and to say what's going to happen. And now I have the fear of what these people are going to do to me because of what I just did. I'm a dual person. I'm a whole person. I have fears, and I have faith, and I have all these different things. And so he's under this tree, and he lays down and he goes to sleep. And the angel comes and awakes him and says, here, eat and drink. And then let him go back to sleep. He didn't become drill sergeant and tell him, get up and get over it now. Get up and go, get over it and go. We got some place for you to go. That's not what the angel did. The angel said, here, eat and drink and rest again. This is grace that I'm talking about right now, y'all.
Right.
Eat, drink, and I'm going to give you strength by giving you the food and drink
that you need.
In your low place, I'm going to still feed you. In your low place, I'm going to give you the sustenance that you need in order to be strengthened. And then it says again, he went down, he went back to sleep. His cave time is depression time. And then the angel come back at another time and says, here, get up, eat and drink, because the journey is long before you. So look at what happened. He was allowed to grieve, allowed to stress, allowed to be depressed, allowed to sleep and rest, and he was still being fed. Here comes the organizations that are saying, hey, we understand that you don't feel good in your mind, so let us help you get better and feed you while you're in this place.
Right, exactly.
So he goes back to sleep, he gets to rest some more, and then the angel says, eat, drink, because the journey is long. I've allowed you time. I've given you grace during this time, and now I'm going to give you more strength. So you can go ahead and get up and get about your life, because you're not going to die here.
Right.
Yeah. And so we begin to see. And so God showed me that, first of all, I'm not judging you, Shalonda, for grieving. I'm not judging you for, not being able to be present. I'm not judging you for being depressed. I'm not judging you. It'll be times I will be woken up and he'll be like, you still mad? Yep, I'm still mad. Turn over, go back to sleep. because I can talk to him like that because he
Yep.
understands me and he's not judging me. And
Yep.
so he showed me my sister. So when I started going through the point where I got my food, now you got to get up. The journey is long before you. Then he had to help me renew my mind. He allowed me time to grieve and go through the motions. Now he comes to help me heal.
Yes.
And so in order to heal, I have to renew my mind to the way I was thinking about this thing. Because if I don't change the mindset behind what I'm thinking, I'm going to keep getting the same thing going forward.
Yep.
That's the healing part.
Yep.
And so in this moment, he says he's asking me questions now. Do you really think I killed your sister? Well, you let her die. Did I? Or did she already know in her subconscious mind, in her spirit? Did the spirit know the assignment? Because the spirit is within us. We're this person. We're this experience. We have a soul, the thing that is broken and bruised or praised or elevated. We have the soul, mind, will, and emotions, and heart. And then so my spirit knows the assignment, but my soul, it knows the assignment, but it has to act like it doesn't. And my body don't know nothing.
Right.
My body is just here to do what needs to be done, to move, to be the movement, to be the hands that feed the hungry, to be the one that's the counselor, to be the one that's going through it. My body just goes through the experience. My soul knows both, and my spirit is saying, hey, I want you to be free. So I need you to allow yourself to let your flesh look beyond the illusion. Let your body come into understanding of what the soul was meant to do. So he's talking to me about this stuff, and he's showing me her, and he's saying she chose to have this faith. Just like she chose to be a bully a long time ago and then be redeemed and call everybody that she ever bullied in her life to tell them that she's sorry. She chose this path. Bully, redeemed, faith. And this is how I'm going to go. Everything affects the next thing. So what happens when she dies? I take on this hurt and this grief and this pain. And now this is your choose ye this day. Will you choose to continue to serve the hurt and pain you have? Or will you now serve the liberation that you can have? That's your choose ye this day.
Right.
The options are, if you stay in this place, you won't have a good quality of life. The options over here is you're free to be exactly who you are. You can go about your life. You can live no suffering. But you choose ye this day based on your circumstances. She already knew the journey, but she just didn't know it in her flesh. Her spirit followed the program.
Right.
But her flesh didn't know it. God made this for whatever reason he did. And he says to me, how do you feel now that you know she chose? I said, whew. Should I be mad at her because she chose to leave us? Or should I celebrate her because she chose what was best for her?
Right.
And so when he showed it to me from that perspective, Kai, it healed so much in me. Even the past other deaths that I had, but she was the strongest for me yet. But it changed how I looked at life altogether. Now I remember I was in this coaching program, and her name is Dr. Sonia Stribling. Awesome coach. Doing her thing. She asked the question, and she says, if there were 3 people on the ledge, who would you save? About to jump. They're about to fall off, but they're about to jump. And my first instinct was, I'm about to be Spider-Man around this piece, because we're going to hold on to one and then shoot them webs to the others. We're saving all of them, because that's my heart desires to do.
Right.
But she was talking about niching down. And this was, she raised the question. And I thought, and I kept overthinking it, because my heart wants to grab everybody. And we all do this thing together. But came January, I had another sister that passed. And this sister had lived through depression. This sister had been, had a mental health crisis, broke down because she didn't realize, or she didn't feel as loved.
Right.
She was my foster sister, but she took care of me for the longest when I was a baby. So I don't do fosters and steps and all that. We just, that's just my
They're
sister.
just sisters. Yeah.
It won't, yeah. Blood couldn't have made us closer. But I remember her seeing me as an adult because she's older. She was older to even, so she's excited to see her sissy. And hey, sissy. And you know what she remembered about me? Me being kind to her. You know what I remember about her? Her being kind to me. Her loving me enough to fix me grits with seasoned salt. Because that was what she did. She just wanted me to eat. She loved me enough that even though she was the foster sister, and once she was of age, she didn't walk away from us. We were still her sisters and her mom. But she had her own hurts and pains from being a foster child. And so she lived with feeling rejected. She had thought that something was the case that wasn't her whole life until I told her the truth. When I told her the whole truth, all of a sudden everything began to break down in her. That was me paying attention to the fact that my sister was wounded.
Right.
She remembered me being kind to her. It was the smallest kindness as far as I'm concerned, but to her it was major. But she used to braid my hair. She did braids. And she wanted to go to a concert so bad. And I had just got like a little bit of money from school stuff or whatever. And I was like, I'm about to take my sister this $100 so she can go to this concert. And when I came and brought her the $100 and she got it, I mean, she hugged me, embraced me, she bragged. She just was so excited and happy because somebody thought enough of her to give. Not because I wanted anything from her, just simply because I heard her say, I want to go to this concert. And this woman has only shown kindness to me.
Right.
And so she was happy in that moment. And so when we talk at this time, later at this time in life, and she's excited because she was in Kentucky, she had went to the mental ward, she was starting over, and she was so excited about it that she had to tell me about it because before she left Savannah, I gave her some of my books signed. This is my sister, and she was excited to have my signed books, excited that I was her sister at this time. And that made me feel validated.
Right.
All of us have a need for something.
So she made me feel thing to want to be validated.
She made me feel supported as who I am, not who you want me to be. Right? And so we had our rapport, we had our love. And so now she's telling me that she's in this place and she's happy that she's settled. And I'm feeling like, hold up. You just left. You didn't say anything. But hear me, she wasn't used to having to say anything because she didn't realize that she was important enough to be heard.
Right.
So she's apologized. She's like, Sissy, I'm sorry. And I said, so here's what I begin to offer people. This is one of the coaching techniques that I use. I know she was broken and she wasn't used to it, but I had to share with her, Sissy, even if you don't know if I'm going to respond, reach out to me anyway, because it may be something I can help with. She's now, and so don't assume that I won't heal that place.
Yes.
But it was hard. So I had to have compassion for her just feeling good about starting over and not be selfish and thinking, but she didn't tell us. She didn't do this. And so now I'm judging her for not telling me that she feels liberated. I'm judging her for her choosing her.
Yeah.
Making it about me.
Yeah.
So I did real quick. This is checking your ego, or what we would call checking your love walk, what that heart looked like. Right now, my heart looked like you left, you didn't tell me, I should feel mad about it. Now I'm not going to talk to you for another 50 years. God knew my sister was going to die a year later. So I needed to forgive that small offense, or what I felt like it was an offense. She didn't.
Right.
She was seeing through different lenses. And so we're talking now, and all I did was simply say it to her, Sissy, that really hurt my feelings, because I told you can call me for anything, but I do have to understand that you're not used to calling everybody for people for something. So, but now that you know, if you keep doing it, it's gonna keep making me feel offended. So she said, baby, sis, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. So she started checking in with me. from week to week, just so I can know that she was alive. Not because I can't message her first, but because I'm focused on doing my business and my goal. When we gonna understand that everybody's not always rejecting your call? They could have just been asleep.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
But
We
your
are
trauma,
such a society that think everybody has this
yeah,
right on their hip 24/7, and everybody
and
does.
that everybody, yeah, and that everybody is doing the same thing to you that was once done to you. That person just did their thing. That person was wounded and didn't do right. They hurt you. But that don't speak for the whole society of people that's left. And so I had to come to myself, check myself, deal with my heart, right? And not make it about me. But Stacey, I need you to know that this hurt me. So next time, don't do it. Right? And so she's messaging, and I checked on her. She was trying to get a job. I sent her some stuff, and I was excited for her now because she was so excited that she was finally going to be happy. She's finally just going to be able to live. So she sent me, right before New Year's, she sent me like 3 pictures of this new apartment that she got now. So I've come out of the mental war where I felt like I was so defeated and crazy. Everything was wrong with me. And I moved to a place where a lady says to me, hey, come here. You can stay with me as long as you need to. I've been home, rejected by everybody that could help me, and this lady embraces me, and so now I'm going to go there. I'm happy. I can be free, and she wants to get a job, and she had, disabilities, so it was hard for her to get a job and do the job effectively.
Right.
Nothing she wants to do. She may have taken it on herself unconsciously, but it's not what she woke up saying, hey, I want this oppression. No. So we're talking, so she sent me these pictures, and I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for you. And I was so happy because she was happy. She got this apartment. 3 weeks later, my brother texts me and says, Val died. He has a lady friend he used to have up north. So I'm thinking that that's who he's talking about, so I can give him my condolences, all that. And I said, well, which Val? He's like, our sister.
What?
The same sister I just was messaging and congratulating and happy for her because she finally got free. So Kai, immediately my thoughts went to, did she die feeling alone? Did she die feeling unloved?
Right.
Did she die feeling depressed? Did she die sad, Lord? And everything in me, my alarms went off, and I remember Dr. Sonya's question. Which one will you save first? If you had no other choice, you just couldn't do anything to save the others, because that's what I know you want to do. You want to save them all. But if you can't reach all of them, you have no way. Which one would it be? And my husband was holding me while I was crying. And I was crying hard. That cry was so deep because I just kept thinking, did she die feeling unloved? And I stopped crying and I sat up and I wrote it down, and I said, in my mind, Dr. Sonya, I would run for the one who feels unloved and broken. I would try to save them first, to remind them. Just if it's just an embrace in this moment.
Right.
Because this moment could have been the moment that you decided you wasn't worthy of living. So if I can catch you in that moment, put my arms around you in that moment, understand your plight in that moment. Even if you're going to kick, scream, cry, curse God, all these things, God knows you. He knows you, man, right now. He is not offended. How we put the attribute of offense on God? Because we're offensive, easily offended. We think God is that easily offended. He don't know. He's so almighty, but he don't know how he made me.
Right.
He knows where I am. He knows why I'm screaming. He knows why I'm crying. He knows why I'm kicking and pushing and fighting and throwing things. He knows. So somebody's got to be bold enough at this point, Kai, to ask that question. What if God is all of us? If God is all of us, I need to be able to reach for the one that I can help strengthen, because guess what? God is with them too.
Yep.
So let this need that he created in me, this thing, these seeds in me, be watered to grow so I can extend the olive branch to you if you need it. But I need to help people understand that when you ask yourself this question, you got to be ready to see yourself on the inside as he looks at your heart and says, hey, I need you to get that, and I need you to throw that away. I need you to get that, and I need you to let me heal that. See, love heals all things because love understands all things and knows all things. And so because God knows all things, he is the great I am. I am what? Everything.
Yes.
So if I can reach for you because you're a part of that everything, let's do it. And what if God is all of us? That means I'm going to get some act right. If I really, really take that message serious, I'm going to get some act right. And I'm going to look at you panhandling and not judge you for it if I'm not going to give you a job. If I'm not going to take you to the mental hospital and request to be notified if you need something. If I'm not going to loosen up my rules and laws on how you can get an apartment or get a job, if I give you a little bit of grace, maybe I can help you to be strengthened instead of walking past you, pointing at you because you don't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's not the love of God, I don't know what is. And if that's not the gospel, I don't want to preach it.
Amen to that.
Do you remember the time when, and I still haven't written this book yet, but the book was supposed to be called It's All Strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about Joseph and his brothers. And it was talking about Joseph being betrayed and, you know, all that by his brothers. But it also speaks of the brothers. Do you not think that they would feel neglected and rejected if their parent had a favorite? Who wants to not be the favorite of your parent? I mean, you know, and I don't mean favorite as in, you know, you gotta treat me better than you treat everybody else. But at least let me be. Well, here's how I do my kids. Who's ever with mommy outside the house, get all the privilege of being with mommy outside the house. I had 6 kids. If I had to do something for all 6 kids, I had to do something that was real affordable. But when we were out together, if it's just the 2 of us, it's just like it's just us.
Right.
Doesn't mean I love you more than I love them. You're just the one in my presence right now. So here's your favor.
Right.
What you need from me as you're in my presence.
Right.
Oh, that's so good. I'm getting chills. God is like that. I'm everything to all of you all at once because literally I'm calling to myself. Oh, that's what you need in that one. So you know, say you go into prayer and you're asking for something. You're saying, God, I need a breakthrough. I need these finances to come. I need to be able to pay these bills. And when we think about this from a love perspective, we're going to want to pay our bills because the people on the other end got to eat and sleep and have their family being too. Right. So I want to pay my bills. I don't want to be in debt. I need this. God, I want to be able to give what I need to give. So the person that's open to God on the other end of the world will all of a sudden may have you on their mind. Or they may see a post that says mothering of 4 in need of this, that, and the other, and they come and they sow into it. The prayer that you prayed is answered.
Right.
But if I'm closed up and judgmental to you, I don't want to fulfill nobody's need because it ain't about you, it's about me. Only reason why I'm shopping at your store is because I need this and I need that, and I don't care how I treat you because you serving my need. When you look from that perspective, you're going to continue to have pain on top of pain and trauma on top of trauma. But when you're in the presence of God as an individual and the prayers are being answered, then you are thus considered the favorite of God, the favorite of God. So these brothers didn't feel that. They felt this one is more important than us.
Right.
When you feel a threat to your livelihood, what do? You fight
react.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can call them wicked and call us corrupt and call us whatever, but if you actually just treated us all fairly and the same, you may not see some of the stuff you see right now. I won't feel discriminated against. Thus, I'm going to rise up and have a Black power movement, a white power movement, an Asian power movement, or whatever. We wouldn't have so many powered movements if we were all just created like we were all a part of God's great incubation.
Right. Yep. Yep. So let them. I hate to be at that time because speaking with you is just like I could just do this all day. No. But where you said it's in pre.
Well, you did it in your books. I meant to say that. Yeah. You know, that's why we rocking in your books where we can still have continued conversation. Yeah. That is still one of the most greatest honors of my life, Kai. I will not tell you no word of lie. Seeing my name in your book, like, so listen, my real life coach about to be your coach in this character. I can't even begin to tell you how kind of you I believe that was. And I don't take it lightly that you would even think enough of me to give me such an honor. I don't feel puffed up about it. I feel humbled about it. And so thank you so much again for that.
Of course, of course. I mean, it just fit. You know what I mean? It just fit. You all throughout the book series, not just in book 1 or book 2. You are all throughout the series because you are that woman. You know, you are, and I know you give all glory to God for who you are. So, you know, I can only say that God was the one who had me put it in the book then, so that everybody would know and be, who's this person? Who, you know, because yeah.
Oh. What's the name of the series again? I think for the ladies who are listening, or those who listen, y'all, I'm not the only author on here. And for those of y'all who follow Kie, you know, she is an author. But for those of you who don't, she is a novelist and she has written an amazing series. Are you going to put it up and tell them about it real quick before?
So my book series is the Beautiful Mess series. 2 books are out right now, Beautiful and Beautiful Seduction. And we're trying to get book 3 out because it has been done for quite some time.
A long time.
We're writing book 4 now. But yeah, just the spelling is right there. Caixa Rodriguez with a Q on Amazon. And then y'all can go, you know.
Yeah, man, it's an awesome series. You know, I wrote my first novel a couple of years ago, and now I'm doing a series as well. Yeah, you do know because I sent you a proof. And but Ruby's story will be out very soon as well. Just another way to inspire people and for us to be able to look at the different perspectives of how people see life. So
Yes.
We definitely want to make sure they get into that. But we want them also to go and pre-order What If God Is All of Us on Amazon. If you go to bit.ly, What If God Is All of Us in lowercase letters, it'll take you directly to that page, or you can just go look me up, Shalonda Treasure Williams Lynard on Amazon, and you should be able to see it there. Put your pre-order in so that we can make some noise on Amazon on the 18th on that morning. Get it seen by other people so that we can start living this life together instead of separated.
Yes. Oops. Yes.
Oh, if they go to Linktree/inspirational treasure, and the inspirational is that's what I should have put up here, but the inspirational is without the I. But if you go to Linktree/inspirational treasure, you can do everything associated with me. So you can pre-order the book, you can look at coaching programs, you can look at the other books there, and you can follow me on every platform. So that's probably better.
So we'll make sure that we get that information. I'll type it in afterwards on the YouTube. It'll be in there in the link. Y'all can make sure. Matter of fact, I'll put it right in the description so that y'all can click right on the link. And so by the time y'all see this, if you're not here live, just go to the description box and it will be there. And you can just click on it and go right to her Linktree. You can go right to her Amazon page. You can go right. I'll have all 3 of them listed there so that you guys can pre-order the book, grab her other books, and connect directly with this queen, because you definitely want to be connected. And you're still doing different little, I shouldn't say little, God, I'm sorry. You know, your seminars, your reach outs, your
listen, we are about to go all the way live in 2024. That is my goal. It's time to hit the road. Girl, I got to come give you a hug. Do you hear me? So make sure you let me know if you want to sponsor me to come there. You know, you can be host and we can work that out and figure out the details. So we'll make that one of the stops in 2024. But what I want is for all women to be able to come if they need to come. So every event will be free registration with upgrades. We want to make sure that those that are ready to go deeper, that they're willing to invest in themselves to go deeper, because I'm still a servant worthy of my hire, and I'm learning that more and more, owning that in this season. So I just want them to be able to come. We'll have spoken word artists, and we'll have different things for the those that upgrade, so that they can have a great experience, and it doesn't have to just be something blasé. But what we're doing, and for those that don't know, this is the I am the inspirational treasure, and that literally means I am the apostle, I am the prophet, I am the coach, I am the pastor, but I'm also a you know, all of those people together create just one inspirational being, right? So whoever you are, whatever capacity you need me in, we can work from that perspective. But I want to help them to know and to understand, if you start to support as we begin to travel, I'm not just here to throw it down your throat and make you chew it and eat it by yourself. We're going to walk through some things together, because I know that the pain is hard. I know that sometimes there's that pain you can't touch, and you may think the option is to throw it all away, just die and leave the earth. But if we just begin to start walking this love thing out, you allow me to help you with that heart. There's another book on there called What That Heart Look Like, because we're going to start examining ourselves, healing, so that we can be productive in the land. But if we support, even on the Linktree, I have a site called Coffee. I'm on a coffee platform, and people can donate and give, so that when we travel next year, we can come to where you are. But I want this movement to count for something that will change us as we know it. I have a slogan in there now called, I am my sister's advocate. But you can't be her advocate if you're not willing to advocate for yourself first. Got to give yourself oxygen first. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So we got to begin to start loving on ourselves. And so 2024, we want to be everywhere, chatting with inspirational treasure. You know what I mean? What if God is all of us? What that heart look like? We're doing it all because we are whole beings, and we deserve a holistic approach to this life thing. So
yes. So make sure that y'all go and check her out. I know I've been inspired. I know I've been blessed. I know, I'm just gonna say, I know if you are watching this on replay, if you watch this live, if you're watching this right now, you were blessed. You were touched. Could not have been. You took something away. You learned something new. You felt something that you resonated with. There was something within these past 2 hours that you were like, yep, that's me. There's never a time when I am in this woman's presence that I don't feel like that. And I'm honored to have her on my platform. One day we will be able to reach out and touch each other.
Yes.
We're gonna make it 2024. I'm gonna start working on it. I'm gonna figure out a place, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get you up here to Springfield, Massachusetts, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Let's do it. Well, thank you so much for your time and for giving me this space. And I'm forever grateful. And I love y'all so much. So much.
Yes. Love you. Tony loves you.
That's my boy.
Always and forever. So I thank you guys for tuning in, for being here. If you watch this live, please make sure that you still share out this broadcast. If you are watching this and the live button isn't there, make sure that you still like, follow, share, all that good stuff. Drop a comment below. Make sure you reach out and connect with Queen Shalonda, Inspirational Treasure. Make sure that you go and pre-order the book or order another book. She has plenty of them for you to choose from. You will be blessed. We love you, and we look forward to talking to you guys the next time.
Absolutely.
Come on.